I really thought Jimmy Uso was going to show up, or someone else. Probably not Roman, but someone. But nope, instead, they just raised the stakes some more. These are my assorted thoughts on the July 12th, 2024 WWE Smackdown. Welcome to Silo Voice Wrestling on YouTube and the Silo Voice Wrestling podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jason C. McLean. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications to get all my wrestling hot takes, cold takes, simmering takes, WWE premium live event reviews like my recent Money in the Bank review, wrestling opinion videos, got one coming up a bit later, and assorted thoughts on Raw and SmackDown. Now, before I get back into the bloodline of it all, the main event segment of the show, I think it's important to talk about something that happened in the middle of the show. LA Knight came out and announced he had a contract for a United States Championship match at SummerSlam with Logan Paul. Yeah. Now, obviously, we all knew that this is where they were going. I think we all hoped, or I hoped, that this is where they were going. But why I think it's important to talk about it is because, of course, that match was a setup. What am I talking about? Well, LA Knight showed a clip of him pinning Logan Paul to qualify for Money in the Bank. Now, the whole time when they were doing that match, I thought, okay, this is a strange match to have. I mean, I guess Logan Paul's going to win and qualify, and then LA Knight's going to screw him over at SummerSlam, or LA Knight's going to stop him from qualifying in this match, and Santos Escobar would get to Money in the Bank, and that would set up Logan Paul wanting to face him at SummerSlam and willing to put the title on the line. But when LA Knight won, I was like, what? Why is he winning? Is Logan going to screw him over and then he's going to somehow use that to demand a match? And then it occurred to me, it was the victory itself. That was the big setup. He became the number one contender effectively by pinning the United States champion in a non-title match. And I can't believe I didn't see what that meant at the time. Wow. Excellent setup, Triple H. I apologize for doubting your booking once again. But yeah, that was great setup. And of course, now let's move to the end of the Tag Team Championship rematch. And yes, this is set up for the Bloodline angle. It was a good match, decent rematch. I mean, I think we all knew that Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano DIY were going to retain and not lose it after 1 week against the former champions Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. I kind of thought that they were going to do some sort of a setup for ultimately Waller and Theory or A-Town Down Under properly splitting, maybe Theory becoming a babyface, who knows. But of course, that's not what they were setting up. After the match, Jacob Fatu took out the heels at ringside who were in his way and then took out both tag team champions. I was a little surprised by this. I was thinking, okay, maybe he's setting up the two Tongas to fight for the tag titles, you know, sort of softening up the champions for his bloodline stablemates. Or maybe, just maybe, we might see Jacob Fatu as the WWE Tag Team Champions. It sounds kind of ridiculous, maybe a little too ridiculous for such a serious character, but I think being the first ever individual to hold both tag titles, I don't know if he's the first ever, but at least the first in recent memory, could be something that you could see somebody like Jacob Fatu pulling off, because he definitely took out both team members. Maybe him and another team member, one of the Tongas. Who knows? Or who knows if they were even setting up for a feud between the Bloodline and DIY at all, because maybe he was just clearing out the ring because it was Solo Sikoa and the rest of the Bloodline's time to enter, do the whole acknowledgement thing, taunt the crowd, and even tease Jimmy Uso by mentioning how he had been taken out, and call out Cody Rhodes. The American Nightmare made his entrance and all but confirmed what was pretty much confirmed after Money in the Bank anyways, that he would be defending the undisputed WWE Championship against Solo Sikoa at SummerSlam. And then they got right into the physical stuff. After the Bloodline took out Cody, Randy Orton came down. They took him out too. Now, earlier in the show, Randy and Cody were talking, and Randy said, you know, once this Bloodline business is over, there's going to be a lot of people gunning for your title. Teased what everyone, or most people, including myself, thought was going to happen for SummerSlam, which is Randy turning Cody versus Randy. But of course, Randy said, and I'll have your back then too. Now, obviously, we are going to get Cody and Randy at some point. And I thought maybe there was going to be a swerve in this, but doesn't look like it. They took out Randy too. And the segment ended with Randy through a table, Cody tied up in the ropes, and the Bloodline looking strong as ever. No run-ins from Jimmy Uso, or Roman. Well, we all know it wouldn't be Roman here. It might be Roman at SummerSlam, unless they want to bill him coming back, in which case they probably be telling the story a little bit differently. Also, no turn of Randy Orton, just the bloodline looking really strong. And the two baby faces, Orton down, Cody tied up in the ropes. Basically, what they did was they raised the stakes. There was like 4 minutes left in the show when all this started. I thought that was a perfect time for some sort of a swerve or a run-in, but no, they raised the stakes. Maybe people don't think Cody versus Solo is enough of a main event because we don't think Solo might actually win, but who knows? The way they're showing it, it looks like Solo might actually win, even with no run-ins. So they are raising the stakes, and they're doing so quite well. They're basically sticking with the plot without any swerves. And I think this was a solid end to SmackDown. They also kept with the plot at the beginning of the show. The new Miss Money in the Bank, Tiffany Stratton, kicked off the show, was quickly interrupted by WWE Women's Champion Bayley. A bit of back and forth. Bayley's SummerSlam challenger Nia Jax came out. Also, Tiffany's new buddy, or to better describe the relationship, Tiffany's queen, because she's the queen of the ring. She came out to talk trash on Bayley, got physical for a moment, and then Mia Yim came in, came back from the break with the planned match of Nia Jax versus Michin. It was a good match, and for a while there, I actually thought Michin might win. She really needs a win. Nia doesn't really need a win. I mean, yeah, you want to make her strong for SummerSlam, but she's already queen of the ring, so she has that match anyways, and she's been on a bit of a streak, qualifying for queen of the ring, all that stuff. So fair is fair, though. Nia Jax eventually won. With Michin out of the way, Bayley got into it. Jax and Stratton quickly both took care of Bayley, and she was down. Now, I know that Bayley's a babyface, and while there maybe is a little bit of a lack of logic when a champion stays at ringside when the Money in the Bank winner is at the other side of the ringside with the briefcase, still, fair is fair, there's a match going on. But when you're going 2-on-1 with two very strong opponents, one of which has the Money in the Bank briefcase after the match, it's maybe not the most logical move, though I guess it is a good babyface move because she was taken out and Stratton could have cashed in. In fact, she almost did cash in, but got the "Are you sure?" from the referee before Nia Jax stopped her. Essentially, Nia reminded her that she was there to serve her queen, not the other way around, and Nia had the first crack at Bayley. Although, come to think of it, it wouldn't have made sense if Nia helped Tiffany cash in, and then she just had to fight Tiffany at SummerSlam for the championship. But it made sense, and what I really liked, what also really made sense, is the fact that Tiffany didn't just walk away, that she at least contemplated and almost went to the cash-in. Because logically, as a heel, she should take advantage of a situation like that with the Money in the Bank briefcase. It would have been one of the quicker turnarounds. I know the women's championship usually turns around pretty quickly with the Money in the Bank briefcase. I'm glad they didn't do it because we have one briefcase gone already. At least the other one can linger for a little bit. But yeah, I respect the fact that they at least let her character go to the point of almost cashing in, because otherwise it just wouldn't logically make sense. But still, this was, yeah, I mean, you might say it's a bit predictable, but no, it's continuing to build for SummerSlam. It's sticking to the plot, staying the course, no real swerves. There was almost a swerve with the briefcase there at the end, but no real swerves, no unexpected run-ins. And yeah, they're staying the course. They're respecting their own booking. And I like that. I also liked how Baron Corbin and Shelton Benjamin had a chance to shine in the match. They almost beat Angel and Umberto of Legado del Fantasma. And I was kind of thinking and hoping that they would, proving that they're valuable in the main storyline and they're not just jobbers. Of course, Santos Escobar cheated and Legado won, which I guess also makes sense because the two Legado guys were pretty much being treated like jobbers as well, too, and did need a victory. Maybe this will lead to a bigger feud. Maybe eventually Corbin or Benjamin will end up fighting Santos and might even beat Santos. So, I mean, it would have been nice to see those guys get a win, but maybe this is setting up for a bigger feud in the future, or a continued feud that's obviously probably not going to be on the PLE, might just stay on SmackDown, but it is a nice step. Blair Davenport versus Naomi was a really solid match. I thought Blair might get the victory, but of course, Naomi won. Backstage, they set up that there might be a part 2 or a part 3, which is good. Because I'd kind of like Blair to get like one victory, give her some credibility. But of course, it made sense. Naomi didn't win Money in the Bank, and Naomi needs victories as well, too. Of course, seeing these two people and also seeing Chelsea Green and Piper Niven in a sort of comedy segment backstage, waiting for Nick Aldis, who wasn't there, it's leading me to think of something that I've been thinking about for a while, which I'm going to make a whole video about later this week. No hints. You're just going to have to watch. But it involves people like Naomi, Chelsea Green, Blair Davenport, and maybe people like Io Sky, Zoe Star, any people on Raw. You can kind of hint where I'm going to go with this video. It's not an original idea I'm going to have, but it's something I think whose time has come. Some more on that later in the week. And those were my assorted thoughts on the July 12th, 2024 WWE Smackdown, a show that was all about staying the course, respecting the booking, and of course, building the stakes for SummerSlam. Do you agree with my take? Is there anything I left out? Let me know in the comments. Follow at Silo Wrestling on X, at SVS Reviews on Instagram and Facebook, and me at Jason C. McLean on X and Instagram. And make sure you like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. And maybe leave a little comment saying how you like the fact that I got away with wearing a Raw Superstar t-shirt on the video about SmackDown. Anyway, catch you next time. For Silo Voice Studios in Montreal, I'm Jason C. McLean.